Welcome to our 5 on 5. Please be joined by Jackson County Sheriff Nate Sickler. Sheriff, good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So you were appointed sheriff nearly 2 years ago by county commissioners and a community panel. Why should voters elect you sheriff?
Well, I think the track record, the things that we've done in the office since I've been placed there, speak for themselves. We've made a lot of improvements to our sheriff's office, to our levels of service, to our staffing model. We've created layers of supervision or positions within the sheriff's office, such as lieutenants and corporals, to help develop people for the future, create succession planning and steps in leadership versus just, one tier and then the sheriff. We've improved service levels in nearly every facet of the organization. We were recognized by the OSSA, which is the Oregon State Sheriff's Association, in several areas for our efforts in 2017, my first year in office. We've successfully navigated probably the 2 busiest years in Sheriff's Office history, with search and rescue and the festivals and fires and calls for service, recreational marijuana. All these things have impacted us the last 2 years, and our office has made progress forward and still been able to handle all those workloads and all those tasks. The staff is really happy at the sheriff's office. We have a great environment of teamwork, our culture of professionalism and doing the right thing for the right reasons. And it just right now I'd hate to see that momentum stopped. So I really think that to keep the sheriff's office going, we've done a lot of things with our jail. We're as close to launching a new jail project or proposal, as we've ever been, at least in my 12 years. And I talked to our retired captain today, Dan Pinlan, and he even said, you've had an opportunity to do more in the last 2 years than it's been done in 30 years with our jail, with the exception of the remodel, of course, the basement. But as far as getting a new project off the ground. So, these things are really exciting for me and for our staff. And I just feel like I'm in the best place, have the relationships in the community with our local law enforcement and our staff to continue leading the sheriff's office.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll have much more in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. We're going to hear with Jackson County Sheriff Nate Sickler. So, Sheriff, you mentioned the jail. Both you and your opponent agree a new jail is needed. How should voters separate you guys on this issue?
Well, I think, I'm trying to address issues that we have currently, and then also looking for the long-term planning for safety in our county for long-term as well as short-term. The jail project, it's going to be a big deal, and I think my role as a sheriff is to look at all the pieces to this puzzle, consider all the factors, and see what the best plan is moving forward for our valley. And when you have to take into effect that I don't have control over money, my job is to initiate plans or conversations and educate the public about the jail. And so, it's going to be an expensive project, and the big thing that most people forget about is the operational costs. That's where we don't have money right now. So even if we use reserve funds to put up something, say a modular or a podular thing in the parking lot, we don't have operation funds, and that's what we're going after. And they found a creative way to use those operational funds to also help with construction. So I think our plan will enable us to meet the needs of the community better with, treatment and mental health services and some other things. So I just think that as a professional law enforcement agency, that building a new jail is the way to go.
Both you and your opponent have appeared together numerous times already, town halls, debates, forums. What do you think is the biggest difference between you?
Well, I don't know him that well. I would say the current disadvantage that he'll have is just 10 years removed from law enforcement or whatever it is, and then not having the relationships in place. And it takes a long time to build trust within an organization, and I believe that I've done that, having served in the sheriff's office for 12 years. So those things will be certainly challenges for any individual to come in and to try to make progress in a short amount of time, because having those relationships and trust in place really allows you to move efficiently. And that stuff has to be started at ground level for him to come in. So I think that, and just having current law enforcement experience. Law enforcement has changed so much in the last 10 years. It probably has changed more in 10 years than in probably the previous 50, just with technology, perception, standards, all of these things, and so that will be certainly a challenge for anybody who's been out of law enforcement for a while to try to come back and figure that out.
Good to see you. Thanks
All
for
right.
being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.